Welcome to Midlife Pizza Slice. If you're in your 50s like me, then you might have growing concerns about being able to retire comfortably one day in the future. And we've all got big plans for when that time comes. But if we're making financial mistakes in our 50s, and maybe even repeating those mistakes throughout our 50s, that could derail our plans for retirement. The good news is that it doesn't have to be that way. Let's talk a little financial wisdom and get into the 5 financial mistakes that you want to avoid in your 50s. As you're watching this, if you happen to think of any other common financial mistakes people might be making in their 50s, do me a favor and drop it in the comments below. All right, let's get started. Mistake number 1 is getting yourself into unnecessary debt. Unnecessary debt might be different things, but usually comes down to that you cannot truly afford the debt. Perhaps you bought a new car where it might have made more sense to get a used car. Or you maxed out the credit cards getting that home entertainment system of your dreams. Or maybe you took out a home equity line of credit to build out the backyard, but ultimately you really don't have the income or the other means to pay that back easily. Especially those things that lose value the day after you purchase it, and you really don't have the income to easily afford it. Thanks to the sticky inflation that we're experiencing right now, credit card rates and loan rates are the highest that they've been in over a decade, maybe even close to 2 decades. Just before the 2008 recession, I heard a great saying from Walter Slezak. You're spending money you don't have to buy things you don't want to impress people you don't even like. Before you go spending money, that requires that you create more unnecessary debt. Putting it on your credit card or getting a personal loan, make sure that you're maxing out what you're supposed to be putting away for your retirement. If you have to, get a better paying job, pick up a side hustle, reduce some of your expenses, or make a change to your lifestyle. Whatever it takes, so taking on any debt does not become a burden against what you're putting away for your retirement. Mistake number 2 is actually something that is unfortunately on the rise, and that is dipping into your IRA or into your 401k, your retirement savings, in order to pay off some of that unnecessary debt. This is a growing concern because people are making early withdrawals from their 401k in order to pay off debt or to maintain a lifestyle that they really can't afford. And taking money out of your 401k, doing early withdrawals, is actually very costly. When you withdraw from your 401k, it's considered taxable income, so it's subject to normal income taxes, plus an additional 10% IRS penalty. For example, you need $15,000 and withdraw it from your 401k. Assuming a 22% tax rate, you'll owe 32% of $15,000 in taxes, which is $4,800. So you only net $10,200 out of the original $15,000 that you took out. And let's also mention that that's $15,000 less than what you had before, helping to earn you money later for your retirement. Once the money is out, you can't just put it right back in. The only way to put the money back in is through your regular contributions, which may have certain limits. On a side note, your 401k may have loan provisions that allow you to borrow the money out of your 401k, but that now becomes an additional debt that you've taken on, and it may come with stiff penalties if you don't get it paid back in a timely manner. Financial mistake number 3 in your 50s is not putting everything you can towards your retirement. When you're in your 50s, retirement isn't that far away, but you're still in a place where you can catch up if you're behind. Time can be your best friend because of what Einstein called the 8th wonder of the world. That's compounding interest. Let's quickly explore the rule of 72. It's a simple way to understand how slow or how quickly your money will double. You simply divide any number into 72, let's say 6. 6 divides into 72 12 times. That means an investment that earns 6% per year on average will take 12 years to double. Or let's say you have an investment that earns 12% per year on average. it'll take 6 years to double thanks to compounding interest. That means that money that you put away today, don't touch, should double at some point in the future. So every dollar that you can put away today is going to benefit you later in your retirement. Financial mistake number 4 is doing nothing about managing your retirement accounts. If you don't have a financial advisor, then you should find a financial advisor. Maybe it's somebody at the bank, maybe it's the person who's in charge of the 401k at your place of employment. But you should have somebody who's on your side and helping you with your financial decisions about your retirement accounts. And most of all, you need to make sure that you're being responsible for those accounts as well and know what's going on with them. It's just the nature of the markets for them to go up and for them to go down. And with the exception of 2020, the market we're in right now has been on a tear. So it may hit a point where it actually needs to correct and come down a little bit before going back up, hopefully to even higher levels. Left unattended, your retirement account allocations, the funds, the amount that you have of what in your retirement accounts can go completely out of balance, and that's really not a good thing. Here's a quick simplified example. Most retirement accounts are a collection of funds that are comprised of stocks and bonds and cash instruments. And depending on what you selected determines how much stock, how much bond, and how much cash you're invested in. It's very common for people to leave this unchecked and to find out later that their allocation is way out of whack, making them potentially more susceptible to changes in the market up or down. When the market does shift, you could get impacted worse than you had expected because your account is out of balance and therefore more susceptible to more risk. And it may take longer for you to come back. Work with a financial advisor or financial resource that you trust to help you, guide you with balancing out your accounts to make sure they're in the proper allocations. And this should be based on things like your age, your years to retirement, retirement goals that you have, and your overall risk tolerance, just to name a few. Financial mistake number 5 is not having any savings set aside for an emergency. More and more people, even those in their 50s, are living paycheck to paycheck and have little or no savings set aside just in case there's an emergency situation. One accident, one home disaster, one medical emergency could derail your retirement savings plans. Getting some funds in place may save you the hassle of having to go and max out a credit card or take a personal loan if you can even get one at that point, which just goes back to mistake number 1, taking on debt you may not be able to handle. Your 50s can be an amazing time in your life, and staying on top of your finances can make a huge difference in the quality of the years that you have yet to come and allow you to enjoy more of the time that you have in midlife. If you haven't already done so, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Get yourself a slice. Midlife Pizza Slice is bringing you content each and every week on how to live a great life in your midlife, whether it's on health, happiness, or personal finances. Until the next time, keep living your midlife to its fullest.